Welcome back to the show. Now we have Joris Postema. He's a film director and he's been filming a documentary in Holland which is called Sayfo, A Forgotten Genocide. Joris has been working with Hans Bustra, both of them film directors, and they've been finishing a documentary as we speak, and in fact it'll be shown on Dutch television April 22nd, and it will be previewed in the cinema in Holland on the 20th of April. We'd like to welcome Joris to the program.
Hello.
Joris, before we start, I just want to show a quick clip which is still being worked on, but I just want to show a quick preview clip of the documentary. Let's go to it now.
If you lose near to 70% of a group, then this is very high, and in any international comparison of genocide figures, it is a very high percentage.
مبلنا لي بس دوكي وكل كيد كالش كوفة توانقت كتاي مديلا توانقت هم عرسيها وخالعي.
It is about time to grant the native Aramean people also their home, their own democratic state in the land of their ancestors. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you for your intervention.
Joris, it looks great. Let me ask you, what did you know about the Aramean Syriac community before you began filming the documentary, and what do you know now?
Well, I didn't know so much. I hardly knew anything, to be honest, about Aramean community in Holland, or the people in itself. But we've been working on it for, I think, 6 or 7 months now, so I know quite a lot. And I know they have a really big history, and I know there's a lot of problems for them, for you in your home countries. And most of you are living in diaspora in the West.
Can you tell us more about what brought you to do the documentary in the first place? The Aramean community, of course, have a very large history, a wonderful history. I know that it's the year of the Sayfo, what we call the Sayfo, the genocide, committed by the Turkish government and the Ottoman Empire. In this particular year, the 100 years of the Sayfo commemoration, what made you do this documentary?
Well, to begin with, it was a question by Johnny Messor, the chairman of the World Council of Armenians, together with AO, the Dutch Evangelical Broadcast Company, and they contacted me and Hans and asked us to make this film, because they really wanted to make a film about Sayfo and about Armenians 100 years, as you just said, after the Sayfo occurred. So we did some research, we talked to some people, and in the end we thought, this is really important, we should make this film. And then we started making it, and well, it's almost finished now.
One of the primary areas, of course, was the Sayfo that you were looking at. What is your view of the Sayfo? You've interviewed a lot of older people who were either directly or indirectly affected by the genocide. You met a lot of people, and you also seen that we've been trying to fight for recognition of this genocide. What is your view of it?
I think what's very interesting is that for Aramean people, it's a really big thing that it's a genocide which is not recognized. Well, for me, it's something else hit me, because we've spoken to so many people, and I mean, it's such a shocking event. I mean, whether you call it genocide or whether you call it major violence, I think the Turkish people, they call it violence. No, I don't remember exactly. And I was just so moved by all these people telling these stories, and I think it's just incredible that this happened, and it actually is happening today again. You know, there seems to be not a big difference between what's happening now in Syria and Iraq, between what happened 100 years ago in Turkey. So it's kind of shocking that history has moved on to being the present again.
Absolutely, and I think that was something that you've been brought up quite a bit within the documentary, correct?
Yeah, and also what happened when we followed Johnny for 6 months and spoke to so many people, because of the problems in Syria and Iraq with ISIS, because of living in Turkey being really difficult and not so many Armenian people left, and because in diaspora you're doing really well. I mean, young people, they have good jobs, they do good education. So what Johnny told us many times and times again, and other people confirmed, is that history and culture are just disappearing, and you know, I think that's true. It's terrible to see such a unique culture struggling to stay alive, and I think that in the film, what happens is that we start with Sayfo, but we end with, listen, we should maybe focus a bit more on what's happening now instead of keeping living in the past, because what's happening now is really, really urgent, and there needs to be done something to save the Armenian people. I don't know if you share this opinion, but this is really what struck us.
Yeah, I mean, that's an extremely important point, because what we've seen, for example, and you must have experienced in Holland, where you have quite a large Aramean Syriac community who have actually assimilated quite well, and arguably, in fact, too well. And that's been the consistent thing that I've noticed on my travels around the world, whether you go to Germany or whether you go to Sweden or to Australia, to the US, the diaspora are phenomenal at assimilation. And that's a problem, right?
Yeah, no, for me, sometimes, because I'm Dutch, I have my own country, and I'm in my own culture. So sometimes I think, well, maybe it's a good thing to you know, get all the people which are struggling in the Middle East, get them to Holland and to Sweden and to Germany, and you know, and the young people, they are doing so well. They will find jobs and they will live happily in Sweden or Germany or whatever. So sometimes I'm confused a little bit if it's the right path to fight against assimilation, but on the other hand, I mean, a unique culture is disappearing fast, and if you don't stop it, it will be gone. I guess Johnny mentioned somewhere in 20 years it will be gone. Maybe that's a bit soon, but I'm afraid he has a point, and it will disappear in the near future if nothing happens.
I think that's a very important point again, because while it's important for the community, and that's why we hold on to it dearly, we embrace the local culture, and we're very flexible and agile people. But at the same time, it's a balance, isn't it? That you want to maintain such a rich history, such an important history, such a key culture, not only for us, but also for the world, that we still also want to hold on to the positive aspects of that as well, while living in and embracing the country that has accepted us, correct?
Yeah, it's very difficult, and also because many people you're talking to don't understand this feeling, like me and Hans. I mean, because we cannot relate to not having a homeland, or well, having one but not being able to live there, because it's you know, it's really difficult for a Dutch person or a Swedish person, I think, to relate to that really on a deeper level.
Yeah. Let me talk about Johnny Messor, the president of the World Council of Arameans. You were with him for 6 months, as you say. I've known him for about 20 years, and so I have my own view of this great person. But what did you learn about him personally, and also about his own struggle to try to help his people?
I'm very impressed with Johnny. I mean, this guy works 20 hours a day, non-stop, forgets to eat, forgets to sleep, goes on and on and on, has only one goal, and that is to keep his culture and his people alive. And I find that phenomenal. And it's just, he is so patient, because he goes to all this lobbying things to politicians. He's talking to many people, and goes to United Nations. And it's a long route. It's a slow route, and he just keeps on going. And so I'm really impressed with him, to be honest.
Well, let me ask you, what are the two key things that you want people to walk away with after watching this documentary?
I think there's just one. I think after watching this film, I hope people will realize that a very special group of people and a very special culture is disappearing fastly. And if they don't get any help, it's over and they're gone within 100 years. There's no more Arameans left, I think, and the culture will be gone. So I hope when people watch the film, this is the feeling they get from it. It's special, it's important, we should try something to stop this.
And I think that's a key point for not only the Arameans that are in the diaspora, but also the Arameans that remain in the homeland. And I think that's also came through on the documentary, where there was a push to keep people who live in the Middle East right now, to keep them there as much as possible. And that's why we're fighting to keep them there rather than them all running to the diaspora. So then they can be some homeland that remains, correct?
Yeah, again, I find this difficult because if you go to, we've been to Turkey, people are still scared living there. Syria and Iraq, of course, is even a bigger problem. So you know, I can imagine that you just want to come here and feel safe and be able to live and do your thing. So I find it a difficult discussion, and I'm changing position on it every day, I think. So sometimes I think, stay there with as much people as possible, and sometimes I think, please just come here and live your life. And be happy. And so I find it difficult, to be honest.
Yeah. Let me ask you, you're in the studio right now. It's very late at night for you.
Yeah.
You're working frantically to put the final touches on the documentary.
Yeah.
Is it all going well? Will it be completed on time?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a huge challenge, but it will be finished in time. Just barely, but we will make it.
How can people see the documentary, Joris?
It will be broadcasted on Dutch national TV on Wednesday, the 22nd of April, I think at 11 in the evening. And after that, it will be on internet to view, but it will be with Dutch subtitles, of course. And I think that there's going to be a premiere 2 days earlier in Enschede, where many Armenian people in Holland live, in the cinema. And after that, I hope it will be in many countries on televisions and on festivals. And I think Johnny will have copies, Johnny Messor. So if anybody wants to see it, just contact Johnny or the WCA, the WCA, and he can get you one.
Okay, well, again, thank you so much, Joris, and also pass on our thanks to Hans as well and the whole team. We wish you the best for the documentary, and hopefully everyone goes out and watches it. Thanks again.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.